the summer of 1787, delegates from all the states except Rhode Island gathered in Philadelphia. Their express aim was to amend the Articles of Confederation, America's first constitution, which had proven quickly to be too weak and too ineffective a system for the new country. The delegates in Philadelphia quickly agreed to write a new framework of government and thus formed a constitutional convention, which drew up a new U.S. Constitution. Before they could agree on the final provisions of that document, however, the delegates had to forge compromises to settle disagreements over several issues. One of the first clashes came over the structure of the legislature, how many delegates the states should have, and the voting power of those representatives. Two different plans were put forth. One was called the Virginia Plan, or the Large State Plan, because it would establish a bicameral or two-house legislature in which representation in both houses was based on population. The New Jersey Plan, or the Small State Plan, kept the unicameral legislature formed under the Articles of Confederation and gave each state equal representation. Disagreement between supporters of the two plans threatened progress at the convention until the issue of representation was resolved by the Great Compromise, also known as the Connecticut Compromise because it was put forth by two delegates from Connecticut. This plan proposed a legislature made up of a Senate in which each state had equal representation and a House of Representatives in which representation was proportional in relation to the population of each state. The compromise passed narrowly and defines the makeup of the U.S. Congress today. Another contentious issue at the Constitutional Convention was whether or not enslaved people should be counted in a state's population for the purpose of representation in the House of Representatives. Many of the less populous states allowed slavery. Counting enslaved people would give them greater representation than they would otherwise get. A 3/5 compromise was ultimately reached, adopting a formula used under the Articles of Confederation to calculate the financial responsibility of states. It provided that enslaved individuals would be considered 3/5 of a person for the purposes of both representation and taxation. A third major point of contention was the office of the president. While the delegates agreed the new Constitution should establish an executive branch, they debated how it should be structured. The first question was whether to invest executive power in the hands of one person or many. Some delegates believed that having more than one executive officer would provide a defense against excessive executive power. Ultimately, though, they agreed on a single president with a system of constraints in place to ensure that the powers of the presidency were not abused. Wary of allowing the citizens to directly elect the president, the framers of the new Constitution established an electoral college to elect the president, in which electors would be appointed through methods created by the states. A related question was how long the executive should be allowed to serve. Some delegates wanted to limit the president to just one term. Alexander Hamilton of New York favored having the president serve for life. In the end, the delegates set no limit on the number of terms a person could serve as president, but set a 4-year limit on each term.